Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. So for today, we are going to present our database, which is mobile database for assignment 3, emerging technologies. So this is our group, my group members, me, Mohamad Taufiq Hidayat bin Roslee, and then Nur Aisyah Mohamad Razif, and then Muhammad Ikhwan Syamili bin Zakaria, and then Nur Aisyah binti Abdul Rahman, and last but not least, Nur Aqilah binti Mazlan. Let's start with mobile database definition that will be presented by Ikhwan Syamili.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will explain to you the definition of mobile transportation. So generally, mobile database is a database that can be connected to by a mobile computing device over a wireless mobile network. So there are some characteristics of mobile database that I have listed here, which is firstly, it is physically separate from the central database server. And then second is resided on mobile device. After that, handle local queries without connectivity. And last but not least is capable of communicating with a central database server or other mobile clients from remote sites. So what we understand from here, mobile database is actually a database that can be connected even though they are not using the wire. So it will be in the long range of connectivity. Next slide. So before this, we have understand about the characteristic of the mobile database, and now we will see and discuss about the capabilities and also the limitation of the mobile transportation or mobile database. Alright, firstly, first capabilities is mobile database can physically move around without affecting data availability. But the cons is it has limited power battery life. So the simple example that we can take is our mobile phone. Even though we can use it everywhere, but it is limited to the battery life. Once it has reduced battery life, so we need to charge. And then secondly, capability of mobile database is anytime. So it can store and retrieve any data whenever mobile connection is available. So in order for you to use this to access to the mobile database, you need to have the connection of data. But the limitation here, it is limited by the wireless bandwidth and communication speed. As an example, if you are at the village or the places that have the weak connectivity, so the process to access to the database is become hard. Alright. So the third point is about the efficiency. The capabilities of the mobile database, it can process mobile data efficiently, but there is something that we should consider is limited by computing and storage capacity. So like our smartphone itself, it has limitation of storage such as 16 gigabyte, 64 gigabyte and else. If your phone is full, the storage is full, so it will slow down the process for you to access to the database. So and lastly, about the effectiveness. So mobile database can give users what they really want. But the limitation here is screen size for output is limited. Alright, that's all for definition of mobile transportation or mobile database.
Okay, next we go to the architecture, mobile architecture. This is the general of mobile database architecture. So we have three main components that we see, which are feed source, database, base stations, and mobile units. So the general architecture of mobile database is a distributed architecture where a number of computers it's generally referred to as a fixed host, and base stations are interconnected through a high-speed wire network. So fixed host is general purpose computers configured to manage mobile units and base stations function as gateways to the fixed network for the mobile units. So for mobile units and base stations, communicate through wireless channels having bandwidth significantly lower than those of a wire network. Each cell in a network has a base station associated with it that we can see in this graph, in this architecture. So mobile units are battery powered portable computers that move freely in a geographic mobility domain, an area that is restricted by the limited bandwidth of wireless communication channels. So we can see a downlink that the at the below channel is used for sending data from base station to mobile unit, and uplink channel is vice versa. So to manage the mobility of units, the entire geographic mobility domain is divided into smaller domains called cells. So next slide, we can see that the mobile computing platform can be effectively described under client-server paradigm that we can see in this picture. So we may sometimes refer to a mobile unit as a client or sometimes as a user, and the base station as servers. So we assume that the average query response time is much shorter than the time required by the client to physically transverse a cell. So clients and servers communicate through wireless channels. The communication link between a client and a server may be modeled as multiple data channels or as a single channel. Even storing data on a cluster of machines to backup a central database might cause performance bottleneck and data inconsistency. So next slide. For the peer-to-peer, peer-to-peer mobile database, the database maintenance activities are distributed among clients. So every process plays part of the role of the server besides its client's role. So a client that wants to access a piece of data sends a request to other peer clients and they forward the request until the data is found.
Next, we move to mobile database example. Okay, the example of systems or application that use mobile database. First, we use mobile database in traffic control application or traffic control systems. Next, we use in taxi dispatch applications such as GrabCar. And then we use in emergency service systems such as in police or medical fire. And then we use mobile database in car navigation applications such as Waze. And then we use mobile database in location application such as where search and recommendation Google Map. Next, we use mobile database in social applications. And also we use in shopping cart applications such as Lazada, Shopee, or Carousel and Carousel. And also we use in food cart application such as GrabFood. And last but not least, we use mobile database in mobile portal.
Next is how SQL or NoSQL is used with the mobile database. SQL and or NoSQL basically have a lot, but there are type of SQL and SQL, which are C-based SQL Anywhere, Microsoft SQL Server, SQLite, IBM DB2, everywhere place. First, how C-based SQL Anywhere used with mobile database. Initially created by Webcom as Webcom SQL. SQL Anywhere was launched in 1995. It dominates the mobile database field with about 68% of the mobile database market. Database files are independent of the operating system and transferable between supported platforms. Strong encryption is supported for both database file and client-server communication. Next is Microsoft SQL Server, formerly known as SQL Server Mobile Edition. SQL Server is free to download and redistribute. It is optimized for an architecture where all applications share the same memory pool. SQL CE runs in process with the application which is hosting it. It has a memory footprint of approximately 5 MB and disk footprint of less than 2 MB. Next slide. Next is SQLite. SQLite is an open source mobile database engine. It is a serverless database engine that needs zero configuration. SQLite is a popular choice as mobile database for local storage in mobile application. SQLite engine has no standalone process with which the application program communicate. SQLite implements most of the SQL 92 standard. And lastly, IBM DB2 every place. DB2E has been discontinued and April 2013 is the end of support date. It has the biggest market share with SQL Anywhere. It has the smallest memory footprint, which is 350 KB in compared to other commercial mobile database. IBM has replaced DB2E with IBM SolidDB family. SolidDB is a in-memory MDBMS with robust data caching feature. That's all.
Next, we demonstrate how a mobile database is used. Okay, for this we choose Oracle Lite. This is a background of Oracle Lite, which is non-science object technology was acquired by Oracle Corporation in November 1996. Their product is become a first version of Oracle Lite. Oracle Lite runs in under 1 MB memories and can be installed in 3 MB of hard disk space. Personal Oracle Lite (POL) is a lightweight, single-user relational database that runs on desktop, laptops, down to the smallest handheld device. Next, we move to function. Oracle Lite is 970 KB minimum of footprint size, and have a part of SQL 99. Okay, why use Oracle Lite? It is small device with high computing power, have a small footprint, and no need optimize to exploit the advantage of the new storage device, and have the synchronized functionality to integrate different version of data into consistent version. And also, no need to be optimized for efficient power consumption and implement with a complete end-to-end security to ensure the secure transfer of data. So in addition, we put an advantage and disadvantage of Oracle. So advantage of Oracle Lite is portability. Portability where Oracle application easily made change in the operating system and hardware, where is 20 networking and more than 100 hardware platform. Next is backup and recovery. It is a good and secure and a proper backup as well as recovery in required storage space, and it is a archive mechanism. Next is high performance, where Oracle database provide a quite good speed and large database, where speed of consideration with transaction control and locking. Next is multiple database support. Oracle may use to gather the information about same process and make appropriate use of it. Market presence. Market presence is Oracle has the maximum shares in VMS, UNIX, and OS/2 server field. Last but not least is version change, with a good backward compatibility which requires to rewrite an application while upgrading the VMS without syntax. We move to disadvantage, which is complexity. It is not preferable to use Oracle, especially when the users are not technically sound that lack the technical ability that is needed in order to work with the Oracle database. Next is cost. Cost of Oracle database, which the price of Oracle is a bit expensive compared to MS SQL Server database, and there is no specific price to open because it usually change over time, depends on factors which is policies, patches, and updates. Last is difficult to manage. It is difficult to manage because the use of Oracle in small, medium, or size medium not preferable because this application only used when needs a large size of database. Okay, this is all the references, and that's all from us. Thank you.